I'm Wilma Moore, and I'm Senior Archivist here at the Indiana Historical Society. My specialty is African American history, and I'd like to share with you all today a story about John Freeman. John Freeman was an Indianapolis resident. He was here from the late 1840s through the 1850s. Excuse me for just a second. I have to eat a bite of hot pepper. In 1853, about 5 years after John Freeman had come to Indianapolis, a man by the name of Pleasant Ellington came to Indianapolis from Missouri claiming that John Freeman was his escaped slave. John Freeman denied this vehemently. There were a lot of people in Indianapolis who were inclined to believe John Freeman because he was a very hard-working man and was quite prosperous from the time that he came here. He owned a business. However, John Freeman was charged and he was detained. He was kept under lock and key. And to really add insult to injury, John Freeman had to pay the cost of being incarcerated. Well, there were some attorneys here in Indianapolis who decided to take John Freeman's case. They took a lot of time and effort in proving that John Freeman was not, in fact, the escaped slave of Pleasant Ellington, even going so far as traveling around the country and bringing witnesses back, most notably from Georgia, which was John Freeman's home state. And their defense proved to be quite successful. The real John Freeman, who had left Missouri and gone to Ohio, was found in Canada. He gave a deposition that in fact he was the real John Freeman. Pleasant Ellington was well aware, because these two men looked nothing alike, that John Freeman here in Indianapolis was not his escaped slave. After all the dust settled, John Freeman, after his name was cleared, he brought suit against Pleasant Ellington, but unfortunately, Pleasant Ellington had fled. And John Freeman was not able to recover the money that he had spent on defending himself. But afterwards, he continued his business here in Indianapolis, and this is 1853, 1854. He stays in Indianapolis but decides to take his family and move to Canada, unaware of the Civil War being on the horizon the next decade. He goes to Canada and his family stays there until after the Civil War, and they return to the States, not back to Indiana, but they go to Kansas. And I'm glad to share this story with you. It's a story that's not very well known, but I think it's an extremely compelling story in Indiana history. Thanks for listening.